Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. We have a lot of fans from all over the world. Had a particular individual from Finland that hit us up and had a pretty cool little email, so I want to read this to you. And they also have some questions. Hi, Big Herc. I just want to thank you for putting out those videos to YouTube for over the years. I've actively followed Fresh Out since 2014 to this day, and your stuff has opened my eyes and mind for a lot of things. First of all, I've always been curious for different penal systems in different countries and want to know what it's like to be a prisoner in those systems. What kind of life you have at a daily basis in prison, etc. From your videos, I have gained a lot of insight what is going on in the U.S. prisons. One of my childhood best friend's father is just to be a CO in Finnish maximum security pen, and my mother was once a psychologist for inmates in that same prison for a few years. Nowadays, she's doing drug rehabilitation and counseling for troubled youth in Finnish foster home. From my mom and from my old homie's father, I could hear all the kinds of stories of what's going on in Finnish prison, and of course, it's fucked up from what I heard. But after your videos, I noticed how much more fucked up it is in US than here in Finland and other Scandinavian countries, even though being an inmate is not a good thing in any country or system and being isolated from society and family. As my mom knows, a lot of former inmates who she has been counseling in foster home or in prison and is familiar with the system, I've noticed a huge difference in the mindset of how we as a society or system look at our convicts. Scandinavian system wants to help a prisoner and believes that everybody needs a second chance, even though you have committed maybe horrible acts of crime. As in the US, what I have learned from your videos, my mindset is that change begins from yourself and it is your thing to do it. Society or systems don't have any responsibility. Penal systems here are based on the fact and try to help every prisoner rehabilitate with vision that someday those inmates will be able to return to society as a normal and productive citizens. Also, our sentence lengths are pretty short here when compared to the US. These short sentences and the systems have caused a lot of debate in here, some saying that this system is feeding professional or career criminals because it is easy to do the time after your crime. And some are even saying that if you have to go to Finnish prison, it's like going on vacation. Also, today's Finnish Minister of Justice, who is a member of the Conservative Nationalist Party, said that he wants to make sentences much longer and crime more punishable, and also would have even willing to return a death sentence, capital punishment, back to Finland. What are your thoughts about that? If you want to know more about the difference in mindset between US and Scandinavian prison system, I recommend that you check out this 27-minute documentary from Finnish National Broadcast Company. In the clip, American warden visits in Scandinavian prison and compares it to US prisons. Also, thanks for your videos, motivation, and perspective for appreciating my life. After watching your videos, I have been more grateful with my life and try to minimize whining or bitching because these things could be worse. For example, good food, female companionship, possibility for own privacy, even for taking a shit after one of your latest episodes, are important things that I've always taken for granted. I have a loving mom and family whom have always been there for me. Everybody don't have that, and I have showed more love and appreciation for them after your videos because they basically made me and showed me the way to do the right things in life. Thanks, Big Herc, and thanks for your motivation. Even though I've been studying for my master's degree for years, going to get that master in the next 6 months, I'll still put out more energy to educate myself in different aspects and areas in life so that I have more legal hustles and knowledge in my toolbox for the future. One of my future dreams is to be able to help out those people who have dropped out of society or are in danger of doing that. Even though you had a rough life, I respect that you can still keep a positive attitude and open mind to everything. I think we all can learn from that and use it in our own lives. Be more grateful and show more respect and love to each other. Thank you, Big Herc. Much love and respect from Finland. And then nothing but the best for your future plans and hustles. Keep on going, Big Herc. Hey, man, thanks for that, Finland. And man, that was a hell of a letter, man. You know, we really appreciate the support. And yeah, American society, prisons are for punishment. Even juvenile halls are for punishment. You know, juvenile halls are probably worse than adult prisons because of just the exploitation and the gang banging and just the mentality. So yeah, here they're not locking you up for any rehabilitation. You go to San Quentin, you go to Soledad, you go to any institution in the state, man, it's ride or die. You gotta basically handle your business, and nobody's there to prepare you to re-enter society, to be productive. It's a decision you have to make. And the thing is, the key to being rehabilitated, I believe, is not conforming. And what I mean by that is the guards, the warden, even the fellow inmates, they all advocate trying to follow. They want you to be like a herd of cattle. They want you to follow, follow a particular group, follow a particular gang or particular neighborhood, and they really fear the independent thinkers. So, you know, being an independent thinker and going against the grain, it takes a strong mind, but that's the only way you're gonna actually be able to break the cycle and do something else with yourself. Otherwise, you're hanging out with people and they're talking about bullshit that they did, other crimes, committing new crimes, and your brain is absorbing that. And when you go back to lay down and actually, you know, decompress, you're feeding all those negative thoughts. So, you know what, I made an effort to not do that, and it helped me when I got back into society to be productive. So you gotta really work on your mental game. Physical game, you know, working out and stuff, of course you wanna be in shape, and it kind of makes people think twice about challenging you, but mentally, man, that's where it's at, man. You gotta think ahead. You're dealing with sometimes mental midgets. You're dealing with, you know, people who aren't very well educated or socialized, and you gotta think 4 or 5 steps ahead of these people so you don't get caught up in some bullshit with them or get into a conflict with them. And on top of that, you gotta, you know, try not to conform and buy into the whole, the whole image that you're an inmate or you're a convict. So yeah, man, American prisons is really, man, it's a challenge, man, to rehabilitate yourself and to be positive, but you can do it. And like I said, just stay positive out there and stay motivated. It's Big Herc, I'm out.